Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I am doing a full face of makeup from Iconic London, and Iconic London is a brand that I have kind of been stalking on the internet for absolutely ages. I've really wanted to film this video for a while, but their products are quite expensive, so doing a full face of theirs did, to be honest, cost me a bomb. So I've had to save up for a little while to get the money together, and the other week I did have a discount code emailed to me, so I thought, well, what better time than then to buy the products, really. So I have a full range of products from Iconic. They are on my face right now, so if you'd like to see how I got this look and what I thought of the products, then just keep on watching. So the first thing I got that I want to show you is this brush set. It comes with 12 brushes and they're all this really gorgeous design. So they've got the white bristles, then a lovely rose gold metallic handle that comes down into a point, and they're just really gorgeous looking. And they came in this bag as well, which is just the kind of nude pink with the rose gold or copper zip detail, and it feels like a really nice kind of sturdy good quality makeup bag. I haven't used these brushes yet, but they feel really soft and they feel really nice, so fingers crossed they performed well. The whole set was 75 quid, which is expensive to pay out all in one go, but if you bear in mind you get 12 brushes, that's kind of like well under £10 a brush, which I think is a fairly good price if they are good quality. So, and I do think this would make a really nice Christmas present as well. Obviously it comes with a bag and everything. So yes, these are the brushes I'm going to be using throughout this video. So I am going to start with my face today. The first product I'm using is their Retexturizing Face Primer, and this one is £26.99. So it is a fairly pricey primer, but it's quite a big tube as well. So it's one of these kind of silicone type primers. I'm kind of hoping it's gonna fill all my pores in, which is usually what the silicone primers are for anyway. It is making my skin feel a lot smoother, so I guess that must be the retexturizing part of this primer. It's definitely doing that job. And obviously we're going to have to wait until I have done my foundation to see if it does a decent job with filling my pores up. But if you're the kind of person that likes a silicone primer, I mean, on first impressions this does feel nice on my skin. It makes it feel really smooth. It's not too thick of a primer. It just kind of smooths everything out and makes my skin feel really soft. So next I'm going to go in with foundation. This is the Pigment Foundation Stick. I have got the shade Icon 2.2. I'm hoping it's going to be right because obviously I got these off the internet, so I wasn't able to colour match. I just had to kind of give it my best guess. I don't use stick foundations all that often. The only other one I own is my Hourglass one, to be honest, but I do really like that one. Obviously this one is a bit cheaper than that. This one is £24.99, so yeah, it's cheaper than the Hourglass, so we will see how it performs, but the Hourglass one is very good, so this has got quite a lot to live up to. So I'm going to try using this brush for blending out the foundation. It's not as dense a brush as I would usually use for my foundation, but we will see what it works like. Now this foundation does have its work cut out today. I did my skincare video a couple of weeks ago saying how good my skin had got recently, hence why I made a video about it, and the last like week or so my skin has really flared up again. I've been breaking out, my rosacea's got worse again, and yeah, so I obviously jinxed it by making a skincare video. So yeah, this obviously is not covering as much as I would like it to at the moment, but we'll see if we can build it up at all. It is blending out fairly easily. I'm just going to add a little bit more onto my cheeks and use my normal brush to blend it out, just so I can make sure that it's not the brush that is doing it, or that's affecting how much coverage I'm getting. Yeah, I much prefer this brush. It's not the smoothest finish I've ever had in a foundation. Like, it is kind of caking up a tiny bit around my nose and on my cheeks where I've built it up a bit, but it's nothing major. Like, when I'm really up close in the mirror I can kind of see it, but I feel like from far away you probably wouldn't notice. So next I'm going to go in with some contour. This is the multi-use contouring set, and this is the cream one. They have a cream set and a powder set, and I thought I'd go for the cream one because I've been liking cream contouring lately. So it comes in this little black compact, and it's got a nice big mirror, and it comes with 6 different contouring and highlighting shades. They're not the most kind of cool toned contours, I would say. They look fairly warm, especially this one. Like, that looks quite orangey, but we'll see how they go on my face. This palette is $32.99, so it is kind of up there a bit in price. So I think first I'm going to take the middle shade and just pop that underneath my eyes using my finger. So I'm going to try using this fluffy brush to blend it out. I am very much a person that uses like a sponge under my eyes, so it's a bit different using a brush, but we'll see what happens. So immediately I am not loving this under my eyes. I can kind of see all the brush marks in this. I think what I'm going to do is go and wet a sponge and see if it's better like that, because I want to give this a fair test, because at the moment it looks pretty horrific, I'm not going to lie. Let's try blending it with my little Eco Tools sponge to see if it works any better with this. So yeah, it is better with a sponge. So I guess these aren't meant to be concealers as such, they're cream highlighters, but I don't know, I'm not the kind of person that likes layering loads and loads of products over my face, so I kind of just used this product instead of putting a concealer underneath it, and I'm kind of wishing I had put a bit of concealer underneath, because this doesn't have a whole lot of coverage. I'm going to try putting a little bit more on. Maybe the slightly darker colour, because this is quite light under my eyes. Just blend that in and see if we can build the coverage a bit. So I think I'm going to leave my under eyes there for now, and now I'm going to go in with this middle shade here to try and contour, and I'm going to use this kind of flat brush because I thought it might fit in there quite well. Okay, maybe this brush is a bit wide, but I've committed now. Just pop a bit under my jaw. And also across my forehead. Yeah, that is a very wide strip on my forehead. Let's see if this brush is any good for blending out. Wow, this is kind of intense. I'm wishing I hadn't gone so heavy-handed with this. I don't really feel as though this is contouring me as much. It's definitely more of a bronzer, and it is very orange toned. Like, I am feeling a little bit Oompa Loompa-ish right now. I'm going to go back in with my trusty old Morphe G6 foundation brush to try and kind of knock the colour down a little bit and blend some foundation in. I probably put a bit too much on. This little bit of this cream did go a very long way, and I probably wouldn't use that brush again for contouring. I'm not quite sure what I would use it for actually. So I feel I have managed to kind of blend it out to a point where I am reasonably happy with it. I really don't feel like it's contoured me that well. It's very warm toned for a contour for me personally. Maybe if you're a bit darker, then this might work a bit better for you, but I do feel like this palette is kind of for a very extreme look. Like the bronzers are quite dark and the highlighting shades are very, very light. So if that's your bag, you might like this. But if you're someone like me who doesn't like a really extreme harsh contour look, then this probably isn't the one for you. I will play around with it a bit more. Obviously it's the only time I have used it, but first impressions, I'm not completely sold on this. So next is probably the item I'm most excited about. So it is this illuminator, and I got the colour original. I think they do have about 3 shades, but this is the kind of original one. I have seen so many people like posting this on Instagram and stuff, and I really just want to know if it is as good as what it's made out to be. It is £30, so by no means is it a cheap highlighter. It is up there in price, but if it is good, then it might be worth it. So I'm gonna kind of go in a bit carefully with this to begin with. I have a feeling it's going to be one of them products that is going to go on forever. I'm just going to blend it out using my sponge. So on first impressions, this is not as blinding as kind of I was expecting this to be. It's kind of made out to be this crazy amazing highlighter on Instagram, but let's put some more on and see what happens. Oh yeah, it's building up now. Yeah, okay, that is blinding. It's definitely a highlighter that has no kind of glitter in it at all. It is just a sheen, which I know a lot of people like. I don't mind a bit of glitter in my highlighter, not like chunks of glitter, but a bit of like sparkle in there. But this is more of a sheen than a sparkle, but it's quite a blinding sheen. So yeah, it's nice. So that's just my RCMA no colour powder to try and set under my eyes. And I'm going to take my Rimmel Stay Matte on this big fluffy powder brush for the rest of my face. So I'm going to move on to my eyes now. I'm just going to prime them quickly with my Urban Decay primer potion. So for eyeshadow, I'm going to use this palette. This is called the Day to Slay eyeshadow palette, and it just comes with a little sleeve on, and then it's kind of a cardboard goldy kind of coloured packaging, and it comes with these colours here and a nice big mirror, but I haven't taken the plastic off of it yet. So they're all kind of very kind of warm toned, coppery, bronzy colours. There's nothing kind of groundbreaking in there, but it does all look very pretty. I mean, I'm liking the look of this colour here, and like, yeah, there's a lot of bronzy pretty colours, and they're the kind of colours I like. So I think first I'm going to go in with this shade here, which is called Marshmallow, and just use this kind of fluffy brush to set down my primer. Next, I think I'm going to take the shade In the Nude and use this kind of fluffy brush and just pop that into my crease. I can't remember if I mentioned it or not, but this palette is £45, so it is, again, like I've said with the other products, quite up there in price. I mean, you do get quite a lot of eyeshadows in here, but £45 for one palette is kind of up there with really high-end brands, so you'd kind of expect these to perform really well. They're going on nicely. So far, not the most pigmented, but this is only just kind of a neutral transition colour, so we'll probably build it up a bit more from here. Next, I'm going to take the shade Ultimate Tan and pop that in my crease as well. I'm just using the brush that I used to set down my eyeshadow primer. These brushes are quite nice. I don't think they're my favourite brushes I've ever used. I think I do prefer my Real Techniques ones, but then again, if you add up kind of the price of each brush, the Real Techniques ones are probably more expensive, which does seem a bit strange seeing as the actual makeup is quite high priced and the brushes are really quite affordable. Then I think I'm going to take a bit of the shade Merlot Mondays, which is more of a pinky shade, and I pop a bit of that in my crease as well, kind of keeping it a bit lower down and more in the outer corner. I'm just going to use a slightly smaller brush to take a bit of that on the outer corner of my lid as well. And then I think I want to deepen things up a little bit, so I think I'm going to take some of the shade here, Deep Soul, and just kind of pop that right in the outer V. Oh, that's a nice colour. So yeah, in terms of the mattes, I do quite like these eyeshadows. They're blending nicely, they're going on smoothly. They're not the most pigmented eyeshadows I've ever used, but they do still have pigment, and I'm having no problems with like the colours not showing up or being washed out or anything like that. I'm not sure what colour to go with. I think I might go with Peach Fizz for my lid because that looks like a really pretty shimmery colour. So let's hope. Oh, yes. Look at that. I like that colour. And this is with a dry brush, and it's not taking a whole lot of building up either, which I do find with shimmery shadows occasionally they take a bit, like a few coats to be like pow. But I'm going to take the shade Ultimate Tan again and run that under my eyes. And again I'm going to take a bit of that colour Merlot Mondays, which is the kind of more reddy pinky colour, and keep that kind of not quite as far in as the first shade. And finally I'm going to take a smaller pencil brush and go right on the outer corner with the darker colour I put in, which is called Deep Soul. So I'm going to use the colour here, Icon, which looks a really gorgeous kind of pinky shimmery colour, and just pop that in my inner corner. So yeah, this is definitely my favourite product I've tried so far in this video. I'm really impressed with this. I really like the look I've got out of it. So the next product I have to show you is this eyebrow cushion, which literally has only just been released. So I made a second order just for this. So it's like a kind of one of these cushion products for your eyebrows. I've never used a cushion product before, so this is definitely a bit of an experiment for me. And it comes with this little brush and spoolie that kind of folds up and clicks out. And I do like brow products that come with this kind of thing because, yeah, it's much easier to do your brows if you have like everything you need built in with the product. So I got the shade Deep. They have 3 different shades, medium, deep, medium, light and deep, I think. And yeah, obviously because I've got dark hair, I got the deep one. And it has like a split pan, so there's the darker shade and the lighter shade within this pan. So I guess it will be quite good for doing kind of like an ombre style brow. So it's an odd consistency. It feels kind of like ink, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't feel like a cream or a pencil or a wax or anything. It is quite kind of a liquidy consistency, and it's quite intense, so I hope this is going to blend out nicely. The brush isn't too bad. It's very precise, so I feel like I'm going to get a very kind of angular brow here. And this darker colour in the deep one is very dark, even for me, possibly. So let's try and blend this out a little bit. So yeah, I'm quite liking that actually. It's quite a... I have got quite a bold brow look out of it, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes I do like to go for kind of a bold look with my brows. Ooh, I might put too much on there. So yeah, I do like this product. Like I said, it ends up with quite an intense brow look, but I do quite like that. And this little compact is $26.99. So the last product I have to show you are a pair of lashes. They have a few different styles on their website, and obviously only ordered one of them, but I can't actually remember which one it was I ordered, and it doesn't actually say on the box, so I'll try and figure it out and leave it in the description box below. So these are silk lashes and they are £19.99, so I'm not a big lash wearer, and generally I tend to go for cheap ones, so for me this is an expensive pair of lashes. I know a lot of people do spend more on lashes than this, but yeah, these are the most expensive pair I've ever bought, and I'm a little bit scared to kind of use them. So what I'm going to do is kind of finish my eyes off camera, just for the sake of time, because this video might end up being about 50 minutes long or something, and then I'm probably going to do the lashes off camera because I'm not the best at them, and then I will come back and wrap this video up. So I've put the lashes on, I've done a bit of mascara, put some lip products on. Iconic, they did have like one lip product on their website, but it was a grey liquid lipstick and I didn't think I'd ever really use that, so I decided not to go for it. This is a Rimmel liquid lipstick. So in terms of the eyelashes, they are quite full on for me. They're definitely the most full on pair of lashes I own. The actual kind of lashes look quite nice. Like the cheaper ones I own look a bit more plasticky. These do look more like real lashes. Obviously you can tell they're fake though because they're so full. The only thing I don't really like is the lash band is quite thick, and I did struggle to apply them a little bit, and I can like feel the lash band, and where I haven't got any eyeliner on you can really see it, especially kind of on the inner corners of my eyes, so I might put a bit of eyeliner on before I go out anywhere. So yeah, my overall thoughts, I'm not as taken with the brand as I hoped I would be. I think I had very high hopes, to be fair. I'd seen quite a lot about this brand on social media and stuff, and I think it had been quite hyped up. So the things I do like, I like the highlighter. It's definitely very blinding, but it's not too like glittery, so it's a nice kind of just a sheen. I really like the eyeshadow palette. It is quite expensive, but if you're willing to pay that amount for an eyeshadow palette, I think there's some really lovely colours in there, especially if you like bronzy tones and warm tones. And I do like the brow product as well. I think I'm going to have to practice a little bit more with it because the formula takes a little bit of getting used to, but I do like it. The foundation, now it's kind of settled into my skin a bit more. It is looking a bit better than what it did when it first applied. I think maybe it must have mixed with the oils on my skin a bit and kind of smoothed itself out. But it did take a bit of building up to get the coverage that I wanted. So if you're a mega full coverage girl, then you will need to kind of build the foundation up a bit. The primer I quite liked. The things I was least impressed with were probably the contour kit. For me, it's more of a bronzing kit for my skin tone. I feel like the really dark shade in there would just be way too dark for me, and the colour that I used was definitely more of a bronzer than a contour shade, and it a little bit goes a long way, so don't put as much on your face as I did. And the other colour that I didn't use looked even more orangey, so for me that wouldn't be contour either. I'm not sure how much use I'm going to get out of the highlighter shades. I'm not really into kind of the really highlighted face. So in terms of my first impression of the brand, I do think their products are a little bit overpriced. For the price I paid for a lot of them, I was hoping for a little bit more, which is maybe why I've been a little bit harsh in this video. And I feel like there is a little bit of a mixed bag of products, but there are a few that I do really like, so it's not all bad, but it has left a little bit to be desired for me, to be honest. So anyway, that is all for this video. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope some of you have found it useful. Don't forget to leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you've tried any of these products and what you thought of them. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and maybe even subscribe if you'd like to see what else I have coming up. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye!